Okay, so we will officially start, and I want to welcome you all. Appreciate your time today. This is Bud Wassell, and happy you could be with me for this Mindfulness at Work session. And all that really means, to me anyway, is trying to find a variety of simple and easy ways to bring mindful awareness into your workday, which from the classes that I've done is is one of the hardest things that we face, because we get so focused and so involved in our work, and so it's hard to remember to do it. And so remember, I've said, you probably heard me say in a class, that we tend to be very focused at work, but also kind of stressed and tense. And I think what mindfulness and mindful awareness can do during the day is help us be focused, but also relaxed. So we're not quite as tense, and we don't feel quite as exhausted at the end of the day if we do some of these things. So that's really kind of the benefit, I think. So I'm going to share something else. I did send out an article before. I don't know if you had a chance to look at it, but how to make time for your self-care when your work life is crazy. And I want to pull something up here, if I can find it. And it's this quote. This quote is from the article, and I'll give you a chance to kind of look that over. Somebody says it was a great read. Yeah, I mean, it's a short read, great read. I'm going to highlight a couple things, but this part really hit me. It's like, because so many times people say, that I just don't have the time to, not just mindfulness activity, but going to the gym and eating right and all this kind of stuff. And of course, we're at New Year's resolutions, and I don't know if you've made any, but to me, this puts it in perspective. Self-care is a choice, and it's easy to get backburnered, as you see. It's easy to put all those great goals on the back burner. But I like this part towards the end. I've never met anyone who created that space, that self-care space for themselves, who wasn't grateful they did, and who didn't find that extra space for themselves made them a stronger, clearer, more present leader, / employee, and human for those around them. So kind of just wanted to share that. And a couple of other points from that article that I think are really important. Sometimes people think that self-care is a really big thing that we have to do, like it gives these examples: train 5 days a week at the gym, eat perfectly, yoga daily, meditate, sleep 8 hours, all those kinds of things. And even just, going through that list, it sounds overwhelming. But here are some examples of self-care that don't take a lot of time. So just taking brief breaks, 5-10 minute breaks between meetings to catch your breath, using the bathroom when you need to versus holding that. We hear that quite a bit, actually, of nurses sometimes. They go through without really taking care of their bodily needs. Hydrating throughout the day, being kind to yourself, watching your self-talk. That can sometimes be important because we can tend to get down on ourselves. Telling yourself something really nice about you as you brush your teeth. Doing wall sits or squats, stretching for 10 minutes, doing those kinds of things, self-care things you can put into the day, but make them small, easy, bite-sized things that you can do during the day. I think that's really the key. And that's what I'm trying to say in this whole session. There are mindful things that we can do during the day, during the workday, that you can put into the day. And so do your best to do that. And that's really the goal of today's session. So let me go back. And while I'm doing that, if anybody has any examples of how they do that already, I'd love to hear them. So please let me know if you have examples of how you do it throughout the day. And we can share those, because part of this is a sharing exercise as well. Okay, so first thing I like to do in all these is to take a mindful minute, the 3-minute breathing space. Sorry, I've got a siren going by my window. 3-minute breathing space is one of them. There's a couple of others that I'll point out as we go, but I want to start with, we'll start with, actually I'm going to start with a mindful pause that you can use at work, and this is something that we have on the website. So this is great. Renee says, I just got an electric toothbrush that beeps every 30 seconds, and I've been doing wall squats while I brush. I'm up to 60 seconds. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Great example. Thank you for sharing that, Renee. So we're going to do this mindful pause at work. And as I said, this is, if you go to our EFR website, where a lot of the meditations are for the classes, you'll see a brief, this is 2 minutes, okay? So just get yourself into a good, comfortable position. You can close your eyes if you like. You can keep them softly open, whatever is your preference. And just begin by allowing your feet to firmly touch the floor. Sit in a way that you can feel supported and at ease. And if you can't close your eyes, you can, if you want to keep them open, you can also find a point on your workstation to gently gaze at. And take a full, deep breath in. Feel the sensation of the air as it passes through your nostrils. Hold your breath for a moment or two. And then slowly, smoothly breathe out. Feel the physical sensation of the air as it leaves your nostrils. Repeat this 2 more times, okay? In, hold it, and slowly, long out breath. Another time. Do that to yourself. In, pausing, slow out breath. And then just let your breath find its natural rhythm. Turn your attention to your body. Feel any sensations in your head, torso, arms, legs. Just notice which areas feel a little tense, which parts feel relaxed. Just notice. That's all you need to do right now. And finally, just feel your breath and your bodily sensations together. Allow your awareness to be open and expansive, embracing your body as a whole. So kind of feel your whole body breathing for a couple of cycles of breath. And now try imagining your breath has a calming and uplifting effect, nourishing every cell in your body with energizing oxygen. And then finally, set the intention to be fully aware of whatever activity you need to do next, to do one task at a time as best you can with a mindful focus. And that's the end of the brief mindful pause. So you can open your eyes if you've got them closed, and just a kind of a quick centering kind of thing. And that's one example of something you can do at any point in time. A minute or two can really help you do that. So as you see on the screen here, just processing home practice, readings, and video, that's really from the last class. I don't know if you were on the last call, but we talked about stress in the last class, and the thought or emotion meditations are part of that. The stop practice and the rain practice, the stop is to stop, take a deep breath, observe thoughts, feelings, and body, and proceed. And the rain is to recognize whatever it is that you're feeling, noticing, if it's stress, just recognize it, allow it to be, sit with it a bit. The I is investigate it with kindness, investigate it. Just notice, go a little deeper, notice what it is that's perhaps triggering you and why. And the N is to not identify with it, to just come back to your own natural awareness. So the other thing that I ask people to do is to notice pleasant events. It's kind of an interesting exercise to consciously try to look at and notice pleasant events throughout the day. And we'll kind of talk about that in a minute as we talk about mindful driving. So going on from there, these are, I'm going to kind of skip through a couple of these and go to the next one because I want to get a couple of good meditations in as well. But this quote here is kind of also what I'm trying to get across. To experience peace does not mean that your life is always blissful. It means that you are capable of tapping into a blissful state of mind amidst the normal chaos of a hectic life. So you may not be able to have a peaceful, blissful day at work. You know, it's probably out of the question for most people, but you can find these moments, these peaceful, quiet moments where you can give the mind a rest, give your body a rest, and that's really what we're kind of talking about. So I do want to mention a couple of ways that you can integrate mindfulness and mindful activities into the day. So even just thinking about the beginning of your day, even before you get to the driving, okay? So you might inject a mindful activity while you're brushing your teeth, as Renee said, or in the shower, or doing a couple of gentle stretches, or making an intention, or noticing a couple things that you're grateful for. Those kinds of things at the beginning of your day can really set the stage for a good positive focus, right? Now, when you get to the driving, there's a whole meditation on driving. I'm not going to do it now. I do it in the classes, but the main point of the driving exercise is to realize that you can take part of your commute and bring mindful breathing, mindful awareness, try to notice different things, try to really pay attention to the act of driving while you're driving. We tend to be thinking about all the things that we've got to do when we're driving, and our mind is on autopilot and it's traveling all sorts of places. So just try driving. That doesn't mean you can't, you can still plan, you can still take part of your commute for doing that, but try to take 5-10 minutes or so for just really feeling the driving experience, feeling the hands on the steering wheel, the feet in the chair, the seat belt on, the feet on the brake and the gas pedal, the motion of the car, what you hear, what you feel as you turn, what comes up as you get behind a school bus, and all those kinds of things. I was coming to work the other day, my first day back after some time off, and first thing out of the driveway, I got behind a school bus, stopping every couple of houses, and I'm going, oh my goodness, it's going to take me forever to get to work. But noticing what it is that you're thinking about that, I was able to calm down, and then the next couple of stops, that nice bus driver let me go by. Then I get on the parkway, there was a big accident, and again, oh, you know, it's the self-talk gets triggered. I'm going to be late. I'm going to be tense and stressed for that first presentation I got to do. All sorts of things. You know, it's going to ruin your whole day. So you got to rein that kind of self-talk back in. And you know, there's nothing you can really do about it. So just really paying attention to that moment while you're there. And then, of course, when you witness the accident, you see what was going on, and you realize how awful it must be for that person or those people involved. And that really ruins their whole day, if not more. So, you know, being gratitude, you know, just a minor inconvenience, and, you know, we can deal with those kinds of things. So try that. Try mindfully driving to work. Try slowing down a little bit as you drive. It's not a race, you know, we'll still get to work, we'll still get everything done. Try doing it a little differently, okay? Mindful pauses, we just did the 2-minute pause. The 3 breaths for a pause is really simple. It's the first breath, you focus on the breath itself. Second breath, you focus on your body. Third breath, you focus on kindness, but really being kind to yourself, and that's really what the self-care thing is about. Remembering to be kind to yourself, so you make it a priority to do some things to take care of yourself. Then there's mindful meetings. If you're in a lot of meetings, there is also a meditation on this in on the website, but basically it's taking a few moments before a meeting, imagining yourself in the meeting, imagining yourself breathing calmly, imagining being, you know, aware of what's going on while you're there instead of projecting or rehearsing those kinds of things. It's just really feeling what you're doing while you're doing it. Imagining looking at the other participants and listening with focus. Listening with mindful awareness and not immediately judging those other comments. Imagining yourself speaking with clarity, not forcing your opinion, but just speaking clearly and directly during the meeting. Imagine everyone listening openly and attentively. So again, it's kind of setting the stage for yourself to be present and mindful. And you might notice that that will change how the actual meeting goes. And then there's mindful breaks. And so I want to talk a little bit about breaks. And, you know, some people take breaks, some people take absolutely no breaks. So, but I want you to think about maybe planning and trying to do some breaks proactively or preemptively. So doing that so that you don't get depleted and exhausted at the end of the day. Blocking out whatever it is you think you can fit in, even if it's just a 3 or a 5 minute break in the morning or the afternoon. 15 is better, but if you can't do 15, you know, try to do 3 or 4 minutes. That's great. But it is important that you step away so that you're focused. You give a chance. You know, have you ever noticed when you're really focused for a long period of time, that's taxing. And what you're probably also doing is multitasking. And if we have time, I have a short video that we're going to show on that. So try to give your mind a rest. Take a walk. Go for a stretch or a snack. Have a little social time. And really just kind of paying attention to that and making that intentional for yourself. Noting your energy when you return, noticing how that can make you feel better. So really try doing some things to plan some breaks. Now just answer this question. If I were to give you a break right now, if I was your boss, if I were to give you a break of 15 minutes, at least 15 minutes, what would you do? And just look down on the list and just pick one. Just think to yourself, there's lots of options here. Sometimes we just have too much work and we got to get back to work. All right, well, that's your choice. But maybe there's a couple of other things that you could do. Maybe you come all the way down to G and you find a quiet spot and do a mindful activity. And so again, you know, try to sprinkle these even brief practices into your workday, into your break time. We'll talk a little bit about mindful eating. But I'll mention this one now is just, you know, how many times do you have a cup of tea or a cup of coffee during the day? You can make that a mindful activity. You know, when you're making it, preparing it, you know, getting it all ready mindful. Even with a Keurig, you know, where it's so fast and easy, you can still notice the whole action of the machine itself, and the sound of it, and the smell of the tea or the coffee. And when you pick it up, the heat of it in your hands, you know, just really paying attention to the mindful sensations of it. Here are a few more things, and then we're going to do the first brief meditation. But these are just some things that will help to reinforce things that you can do at work. And what you'll find is the more you do this, and I bet you some of you already do these things, but the more you do this, the more you're training your body, your mind, and your awareness. And you're going to notice that you will automatically begin to be more mindful during the day if you start to do some of these things. All right, so before I move to that everyday mindful awareness, I want to do a quick exercise with you, and it's called taking the weight off your mind. And it's, I know I feel like this sometimes. Sometimes there's so much going on, so many things to do, you know, your mind can feel very heavy and burdened. So this meditation is for that. So we'll take maybe 5 minutes or so to do this, relatively brief, but I think very good meditation. So again, kind of find a position that's comfortable in your chair, balanced, at ease, but also alert. Drop your shoulders, relax your hands, and begin by just imagining any tension leaving through your fingertips. And try wiggling them and releasing any tension out of the fingertips. And now sensing into your legs, and you can also wiggle or move the legs a little bit, and imagine any tension in the lower half of the body seeping out of your toes and your feet. And just let your body relax. And sometimes our brains can be overloaded with thoughts, and thoughts can go round and round. And we might have conversations and events that we review from the past that we keep replaying. We might have conversation or events that we imagine in the future that we make projections about. We might conjure up multiple scenarios where we try to fix things or right or wrong. What we plan to say can go round and round in our heads. These can be like a waterfall of thoughts in our heads, and they can interrupt our sleep and occupy our minds during the day and keep us from being focused and creative. And they do weigh us down, these mind waterfalls. So the meditation, or any meditation, can really help us to release some of that, to release that heavy load. So first, let's focus on the breathing. Okay, so first feel the breath coming in and out of your body, and just let the breath breathe itself. Okay, just normal, relaxed breathing. Now imagine your breath is starting in your belly below the navel, and as you breathe, the breath comes up through your diaphragm, your chest, your neck, and into your head. And as you breathe out, letting the out-breath be longer than the in-breath, let the breath carry your thoughts out of your head, down through your neck, chest, and belly, and all the way down through your legs, through your feet, out your toes. And try this a couple more times. So feeling the breath starting from the belly, rising all the way up through the torso into the head, and then carrying our thoughts away with the out-breath all the way down through the body, letting the body relax as you go, letting the thoughts go. Another time or two. Let those thoughts just drain right out of your feet. And this way it lightens the load in your head, breath by breath. Okay, so remember that's one technique you can do. Now trying something in addition to that, like using a repetitive phrase, we'll use be calm. So on the in-breath, say the word be, and on the out-breath, calm. And repeat that 4 times to yourself. Okay, so you can use any words you choose. It could be anything you like, just relax or let go or whatever, be peaceful and easy, whatever you might like to use. A third technique is to bring to mind the source of your upset or thoughts. And we're going to send that person or event or situation a positive, caring message. So almost imagine a beam of caring coming from your heart to that person or event. And using the phrase, may you be well, may you be safe, may you be at peace. And now sending that same message to yourself. May I be well, may I be safe, may I be at peace. Okay, so just trying that, sending out those messages to the source of the stress. That's going to make a difference in your own composure. And now opening the eyes slowly, bringing your awareness back to your body in the chair as we finish that first meditation of taking the weight off your mind. All right, so hope you found that helpful. This one is not on the website yet, but if anybody wants one, well, you know what, I'll just attach it to the meeting invite. You'll also find, if you haven't already noticed, the slides are on there, that article is on there, and 10 ways to be mindful at work handout is on there. So I'll add this one to it so you can use that if you like going forward. So some everyday informal mindfulness that you can do at work. So the stop I mentioned before, the hand washing, there's lots of routine activities that we do. Hand washing is a great example because we do it a lot during the day, but maybe there's other things you do at work. So just bringing your awareness to that activity, not letting the mind wander and go off and kind of do its own thing, just paying attention to what's going on. This next one I came up with based on, and I'm forgetting his name, it's a brother who is got a wonderful gratefulness website. Anyway, it's my take on it is stop, sense, appreciate, and go. So just little moments of stopping what you're doing when you notice something, sensing where, in other words, what are the senses that are involved with that? It might be the sense of touch or smell or sight or hearing that you can really get in touch with, bringing you into the now, appreciating what it is that you're noticing, being grateful for that, and then proceeding and then going on. Real quick, this can be done in 30 seconds to a minute. And then there's mindful eating, and mindful eating, if you look at the slides that I've attached, there's a quick little, this is a link, this is an active link to a little exercise. I believe it's eating a piece of chocolate, so if you want to try that, a real quick 2-minute exercise. But just a couple of words about eating at work. When I ask people in classes, most people say they eat while they're working. So try to just eat, or try to just eat and just do one thing. Instead of having, at your desk, 18 things going on and emails going off, maybe even move away from the desk, eating in a different spot, eating with somebody else, but paying attention to the food as you're eating it, savoring it, really sensing the taste and the quality and the smell and the texture of the food. Great way to bring yourself and bring in mindful activity into your day. There's another handout that's called the awareness checklist while you're eating, and that's really simple. So when you're eating, first question, am I sitting? Sometimes people eat standing up. So am I sitting? Eating fast or slow, try to slow down. Mindlessly munching or noticing each bite. Next is asking yourself, how hungry am I on a scale from 1 to 10? Really trying to gauge your hunger level. Multitasking, are you really focused on your meal, or are you doing other things? And then just noticing, whatever, rumbling stomach or bored or stressed or anxious, whatever it is that you might notice. So those are other ways to kind of pay attention to the eating while you're doing it. These are some nice videos. I'm going to try to show the multitasking brain because people, I think, especially in healthcare, are doing 18 things at once. And so this is by Dr. Amit Sood from the Mayo Clinic. And what I like about this video is it doesn't say, like a lot of the videos, it doesn't say, hey, stop multitasking, because people will still multitask. But what it does is it gives you some tips on the best ways to multitask. So let me go and try to find that. All right, so I'm going to start this just 3 minutes, and then we'll do another meditation. Hopefully this comes across okay. Okay, so that is a nice little video on multitasking. And so all I'm really saying is do your best to just be conscious and aware when you are multitasking so that you kind of take control of it a little bit more. You know, if we really kind of let it go, it can just overtake us, and you'll be exhausted. I mean, there's a lot of research that shows the more you multitask, you're toggling back and forth between the conscious activities that actually drains energy from the brain. One thing it said, don't multitask in relationships. And next month, we're going to focus a little bit more on listening and relationships at work. So that's, we'll show the sacred art of listening, which is a really good video by Tara Brach. So you might want to tune into that for next week. So I'll just mention this and then we'll do the last meditation. This is actually from the weekly class that I do, but this is something that you can try, doing some formal practice in the coming week or month, some formal practice of meditation, trying some informal practice as well that I've suggested so far, and try to really kind of find a balance between those two, okay? All right, let's do this last meditation. This is one that is sort of based on Tara Brach and Jon Kabat-Zinn. And so just, again, finding a good, comfortable place to sit, closing your eyes, or again, if you can't close them completely, keeping them slightly open, whatever is best for you, finding that best position for you as well. And just beginning with a natural entry into presence is through your body and your senses. And you can do this anytime you have a bit of time in privacy. And that's kind of what I've been saying, is just coming into your body, being aware of what's going on internally through your senses, and reconnecting through the breath, if you like, or through the body into the present moment. So you might start this meditation simply by connecting with your intention to be open to this, letting your attitude be friendly, relaxed, and curious. We'll begin by taking 3 conscious breaths. Let your inhale be long, and then exhale slowly, sensing a letting go of any tension. Hold the breath for a moment at the top of the in-breath. When it's full, feeling that sensation of fullness. Slow, conscious exhale, letting go, letting go. And then just letting the breath resume its natural rhythm. And now scanning the body, just noticing any place of tension or tightness. See if it's possible to bring a soft attention to those areas of holding, and see if you can allow them to just relax naturally. We're learning to cultivate this domain of being and let go of the doing for now. It's helpful to relax the face consciously, soften around the eyes, let the jaw be easy and slightly open. You might feel kind of a half smile at the lips. You might even feel the inside of the mouth smiling. Letting the scan continue down. Pay particular attention to the shoulders. See if you can feel the shoulders from the inside out. You might sense a kind of dissolving, ice to water, melting, and then water to gas. Smile at the heart to create the space for what's here. And as if that smile could ripple and spread through the body, feel the hands, let them be soft and easy. Remembering we don't have to achieve anything special. We're just putting the welcome mat out for whatever is here. Softening the belly, letting this next breath be received in a softening belly. This breath, and then this one, and again. And continuing to scan down the body through the hips, the buttocks, the legs, just relaxing any muscles that are tight and sensing into the feet so that you feel them from the inside out. The tingling and vibration and aliveness that's there. Now invite your awareness to feel your whole body. Can you imagine your physical form as a field of sensations? Can you feel the movement and sense of tingling and vibrating, heat or cool, hard or soft, tight or flowing? Just take a few minutes to bring your full attention to this dance of sensations. And simply be with all that is right here and right now, learning how to inhabit this domain of being. Now you might notice that the mind can leave very quickly to thoughts of the past and the future, not to judge it in any way. Instead, when you realize you've been drifting in this trance of thinking, simply pause and relax, reopen the attention, feel sensations in the body, and if it helps to steady you in presence, come back to rest in the inflow and the outflow of your breathing. And so if you widen the lens, you can feel the whole body, this whole field of sensations, and discovering the flow of the breath, the inflow and the outflow. Letting this breath be kind of a home base, a gateway to presence. Allowing things to be just as they are, beyond liking and disliking, just being as they are right here and now. And just let whatever is happening happen and go on happening. Welcome whatever it is. And let go into the present moment by surrendering to its content. Now imagine as you complete this meditation, bringing this alertness and open awareness to whatever you do next. Life itself is the meditation practice. But when we resume to doing, we don't have to abandon the being. Now, as this meditation ends, you may want to wiggle your fingers and toes, stretching in whatever way feels most comfortable for you, allowing your eyes to open, letting the light in, and reestablishing contact with the world around you, finishing with a bell. All right, so that concludes the meditation. As I wrap up, just let me know if you have any comments or thoughts about the meditation or about anything in today's webinar. I do want to point out a couple of things, so let me go to that before I close. You'll see some videos and readings in the slide deck, so you can take a look at that, and there's some links in there as well. So I do have a class coming up starting a week from today, Fridays. It'll be for 6 weeks from 1 to 1:45, called Mindfulness at Work, but it's the full 6-week class. It's on the York Street campus, so if you're interested in that, let me know. If you've already taken a class, not a problem. You can use this as a refresher. Happy to have you again to reinforce your practice. Here's that one that I did on the awareness while you're eating. I'll attach that as well. And here's the 10 ways to be more mindful at work that's already attached to the meeting invite. All right, so again, want to thank you for your time today. Really appreciate you being with me. I hope you have a good rest of your Friday and a wonderful weekend. I guess it's going to be like super warm this weekend, so strange, right? These swings in weather, but hope you enjoy and hope you find it a mindful time. And again, thanks for being with me and take good care. Bye-bye now.